This is the plaintiff, Tanya Martin. She says she loaned her neighbor, the defendant, money so he could get an emergency surgery for his German Shepherd, and he won't pay her back. He also owes her money for a bathroom renovation she hired him for, but he never completed. And friend or no friend, she wants the $2,959.75 she's owed. This is the defendant, John Driscoll. He says the plaintiff gave him the money for his dog's surgery as a gift because she had gotten a big settlement from Walmart because she twisted her ankle in one of their stores. He also finished 95% of the woman's bathroom before she fired him because she has no patience. Bottom line, he doesn't owe her anything. And if anyone's owed money today, it's him, because the plaintiff slandered him on social media, and that's a big no-no. He's accused of taking advantage of a friend. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $2,000 for defamation of character.
All parties, please use your right hands. The People's Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Marilyn Milian is now presiding. Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Litigants have been sworn.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
Ms. Martin, you are suing Mr. Driscoll for $2,959.75. You say he owes you for work he did not complete on your bathroom and for vet bills. You have a counterclaim against her for $2,000 for defaming your character and saying that you owe her money. Let me hear from you first, Ms. Martin. What happened?
I received a settlement for an accident that I had, and I needed to have a walk-in tub installed in the bathroom of the home I inherited from my grandmother. So Mr. Driscoll had just done his own bathroom. I asked him if he would do mine. He said the work would only take 3 days. We settled on a price of $3,000. The work took much longer than expected. Instead of 3 days, it was closer to 2 weeks.
Okay.
And it finally got to a point where my tub had arrived and was sitting out on my driveway and was risking being ruined. So I had to call in an actual plumber to come in and install the tub, and my bathroom's never actually been finished.
Even today, it's still not finished?
Yes, ma'am.
So what work did he do?
He did rip out the old walls, and he did install a linen closet that was supposed to have real shelving in there, and now it's just raw plywood instead of being actual finished shelves.
How much did you agree on to pay him for that work?
We originally had agreed on a price of $3,000.
And how much did you pay him for that work?
About $2,600.
So do you have pictures of it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, give me one moment. Oh, goodness. So the drywall is up, but there was never any plastering done.
That's the ceiling where he left it.
And you paid him how much?
$2,600.
How long ago was this?
2020.
And not only did you let this go, but you then have your second claim in this case, which is that you give him money for his dog's operation. But I'm kind of curious, why weren't you upset? You're upset now. I'm upset looking at it. Why weren't you upset then?
I was very upset. I let things go a lot because of the fact that we are neighbors, and we're literally in each other's pockets. That's how close this neighborhood is.
Great. Okay, Mr. Driscoll, let's hear from you. How do you accept $2,600 for the job I'm looking at up on the screen?
Well, the reason why I didn't even want to do the job because of all the extra work that it entailed and the biohazards at her house, the infestation with the cockroaches and the urine smell that protrudes out of her house and into my house. I figured that I have to be the one to clean it up and do the work in there. I did extra pest control work, killing roaches as I took everything off.
I don't understand. I'm looking at, this is real simple for me. Take a look at the picture I have up on the screen.
She fired me. She fired me before I was finished completely.
Why? Why did she fire you?
Because she was upset with me because I hired somebody to come help me, and we did the drywall, and I cut off.
Well, you didn't do the drywall. You put up, all you did was nail drywall in. Yeah, no, I mean, I got the impression from your answer to the complaint that you were 90-something% done, and that's not the pictures I'm looking at don't show that.
Well,
do you think that's 90% done?
Well, I think the only thing left on that job was to finish the drywall and to attach that pipe for the tub that was in there.
And attach the tub.
So maybe 80%.
And attach the tub.
The tub was in place.
And fix the shelves instead of having plywood in the linen closet. What's the plywood? You have plywood in your linen closet?
She never said anything about the shelves.
Do you have plywood in your linen closet? Do you have plywood in your linen closet?
Do I? No.
Right.
We have no written contract. If you were to see the shape of that house and what I was fixing, it was 100% better than what it is right now.
Okay. Let me ask you about the vet bills, Ms. Martin. Talk to me about that.
He called me late at night one night. He had taken his dog to the vet. I've known Mercedes since before I moved in here when my grandmother was still here. And
what kind of dog is Mercedes? Was Mercedes?
She was a German Shepherd.
Yeah.
She was beautiful.
Yeah.
And I went to the emergency vet, and I actually paid the vet bill there that night before I came home. And it was my understanding they were going to make her comfortable that night. He was going to take her to a specialty vet the next day.
How much did you pay that night?
$639 and change.
And why did you pay it? Why didn't he pay it?
Because he simply didn't have it. As well as the next day, he called and said that he had been able to take her to a specialty vet, but there was nothing that they were going to be able to do for her without further monies in advance.
And so how much did he ask you for the next day?
He gave me a ballpark figure of how much they might charge him of $1,500. I said all I could do was $1,000. And so I made a direct bank transfer from my account to his account.
And so for the dog, you ended up loaning him, according to you, $1,659.75, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And this is after he left your bathroom in the condition that you've shown me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, let me hear from you, Mr. Driscoll, on the issue of the dog. The dog ended up having to be euthanized, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry about that.
Yes, ma'am. We were brokenhearted. It was a 3-day ordeal. We stayed driving around trying to help save my dog's life because she was in pain. And I ran a special on my Facebook page for anyone that wanted to help me with the specialty bills above and beyond the regular vet bills to figure out what the problem was with her. And she lives next door to me. We pulled in. My girlfriend is hysterically crying. We're with Mercedes, and she walks over to my girlfriend and says that she will help. I did not ask her. I did not call her for money. She offered to help that night, the second night of me trying to save my dog's life. So she made the agreement with my girlfriend about that money. Then the next day when we go to the specialist, she sends the money there, which she had already offered and sent it. And
who does she send it to?
The bills or the test.
Who does she
me into my account.
Into your account, not your girlfriend's.
Right.
Okay. Go on.
And so we found out that she had a bladder full of cancer and she had to be euthanized. Yeah. Well, the procedures that were done those days that cost extra money was the draining of the bladder just to get her comfortable. She needed that done like all the time, just so she wasn't in pain. And then we ended up putting her down. And she had a ton of money, and she was wanting to help us, and we were grateful.
Were you?
My girlfriend and her kids have done a bunch of work on her garden. I've went over there. I've offered to help her. I've built her a water heater unit. I'm the go-to guy. I help out everybody. I've done numerous. I've worked too hard since I got out of prison in 2012 to change who I was as a person, to not let toxic and evil people dictate that I give up on myself and I fall into it.
Is she
I am not going
toxic
to fall
and evil?
into negativity.
Is she toxic and
when
evil?
she's coming up with lies, yes.
Okay,
when
what are the lies
making me
she's
bad,
coming
when
up
she's
with?
jumping, she's going on my Facebook page on somebody's review that gives a review of me, and then she slanders who I am on my reviews.
What did she
goes on
say?
TikTok and she slanders me.
What did she say?
Well, there's my Facebook post of a review when a lady said that I stopped and went above and beyond to help her. She puts in the comments, yeah, well, he won't pay you back if he owes you money, or if he won't pay you back money, he's not that good of a person, something to that extent right there on my Facebook page. And I have changed who I was. I've taken accountability. I made a promise to a judge when I got sentenced for a fight within jail. After I'm already going to go to prison on being who I was before I get in a fight in jail. And there I have my epiphanies. And in that courtroom, I threw the mercy on the court and I said, Your Honor, I take accountability for every single choice I ever made in my whole entire life. And I'm sorry for being who I was to this community. And I promise to give back. And I've given back ever since. And I've worked hard and I've showed everybody on Facebook to show my nieces and nephews they don't have to live and be dysfunctional just because I'm breaking the generational curse of toxicity for my family so they can see somebody can do it the right way and make a success
What
of
were you in
themselves.
prison for?
So it was a VOP on a drug charge for I was trying to get painkillers with my ID that was a fake script. And then I went also for getting in a fight in jail.
According to you and your answer to the complaint, you say her son apparently told her, I don't have to take directions from a woman, which isn't what I said and was completely taken out of context. Okay, what was it that you said?
Okay, well, every single moment that I was over there, I had to be watched working. She had her 300-pound-plus son sitting over my shoulder, asking question after question on every
Can I ask you a question?
that I
What
made.
does the son's weight have to do with the case?
There's only a little bit of room, and there was cockroaches and everything all over the place. I felt smothered in there trying to work and get this work done while someone's over my shoulder.
I got to be honest with you. You don't sound like a grateful neighbor. Listen to the things you're saying about your neighbor.
I'm not happy that somebody's trying to destroy my character when I work so hard to build it, and I go above and beyond for everyone that I possibly can.
What was it you said?
Her.
I do want an answer to my question. What was it you said about taken out of context, I don't take orders from a woman? Tell me that.
Well, that was what she fired me for. Her son
Is
told
that
her
what you said?
I said, yeah, that's not exactly what I said. I said, I don't need to listen to somebody micromanaging me how to do my job is what I said. Had nothing to do with a woman, but that's what he told her.
Okay. So now let me ask you a question. Let's address the $1,659.75 for the dog bills. She says this is a loan. What is your answer to that? That you're supposed to pay her back?
That my girlfriend's right here. She told my girlfriend not to worry about it, that she's helping her because she wanted to be her friend.
Let me hear from your girlfriend.
We help her all the time.
Let me hear from your girlfriend.
She's right here.
Thank you.
Sit.
Hello?
Can you raise your right hand, please?
Yes.
Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you.
What is your name?
Amy Keith?
Okay. Ms. Keith, were you there? Were you in the hospital that night when she paid the $659?
Yes, that was where they kept her overnight, and they kept her comfortable so that they could drain her bladder. They catheterized her and stuff like that. Yes, that's what that was for.
Okay. And did you hear any discussion between the two of them regarding the paying of that bill and whether it was a gift or a loan? You didn't hear anything. Now let's talk about the $1,000 the next day. Tell me about that.
Well, Tanya came over to my house because I was upset because I had to put my dog down because I no longer had any money to figure out what her issue was. Then that's when Tanya came over and said she wanted answers too, and she would love to help because I had already been helping her do stuff around her home.
Are you guys still living right next to each other now?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, that's got to be awkward. All right, so...
And to be honest with you, just the other day, I gave her 4 cigarettes. I mean, like, we're not those kind of people.
Okay, I tell your boyfriend or husband or whatever he is to not, he can't just yell in the background like...
Hush.
All right, so what makes you think that it was not money that had to be paid back ever?
Because she was doing it as a friend. She had all of her money and she wanted to help. She wanted answers just as well. She loves all of my animals just as much as she loves her own.
All right, did the subject of payback ever come up?
No.
Did the subject of you'll never have to pay me back, this is a gift, that didn't come up either?
No.
Okay, all right, switch with him and let me talk to him again.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, can I ask you, there comes a time where she is asking you to pay back some money, and your answer is not, you gifted us that money. That was a gift, not a loan. Your answer is, I don't have it right now, which would seem to imply that you're acknowledging that at some point you're supposed to have it and pay back, wouldn't you say?
Well, maybe to somebody else's opinion. In my opinion, what she said in the text was, I need some of that money you gave back. I'm good friends with the park manager, and she's on the verge of getting evicted and kicked out. And I understood that. She ran out of money, and I was wanting to help her, just like I'll help any of my enemies or friends. I will help. I will pay back. I will acknowledge that she helped me in the hard time. That is a fact. This lady gave to help. And as a fact, I am always going to be willing to give back and help, no matter
So
if
I
it's my
shouldn't look
enemies
at
or my friends.
when she says to you, can you please give me back some of the money I gave you for Mercedes vet bills? I really need groceries. And your answer, I am broke. I'm trying to sell stuff online. I will when I get soon.
I was willing to give her money back in her text, and they kept getting nastier and nastier and more negative. And as they got negative, when she's saying, I know that I've seen all the takeout in your trash.
Yeah.
And so she's looking at my trash, telling me that since I have takeout, I should be able to pay her food back. And then she was getting really nasty and negative. So,
well, nasty and negative after waiting a long time, right? Because when you say I was willing to pay her back, did you pay her $5?
She didn't expect it back.
Did you pay her?
She didn't ask
clearly,
for it.
stop. She asked for it. She expected it. I just read you her text. And your answer was, I don't have it right now. Not, I don't owe you that money. You're merely saying, I'm broke. I don't have the money. I can't pay it.
Rather than avoiding conflict, I agree to helping her when I can and how I can, rather than starting a big old fight over it. What set her over the edge was the remarks that her son told her. And when I left that day, I got fired. So, I mean, I don't know what more she wanted from me.
What she wanted from you was $2,600 worth of work. It's what anybody would want from you. When you say, I'm helping my community by doing her bathroom, it was a job. It wasn't helping your community. And what she wants is the vet bills paid back to her, because there's nothing in any of the texts and anything that I've seen that would indicate that you were never supposed to pay that back. In fact, your text to her seemed to indicate an acknowledgement that you are. You want me to look at it and say, oh, that was just because I was avoiding conflict. But that's not how the law works. You know, I wasn't there. I don't know what your agreement is, so I'm going to listen to her. I'm going to listen to you, and then I'm going to look at the evidence before anybody comes to court and try to see whether or not someone can legitimately think that this money doesn't have to get paid back. And when I look at that bathroom is not 80% done. That's nonsense, okay? So I don't care why she fired you, whether she fired you because you said you don't take orders from a woman, which is kind of ironic because you're about to, but I don't know whether that's it or not it. It doesn't matter. I'm looking at the pictures and the text. I work with evidence, not, and based on the pictures and the text, I am ordering on her case against you that you pay her back $2,959.75, both the $1,300 she's asking for the work that wasn't done on the bathroom and the $1,659.75 on the vet bills. On your counterclaim against her for defamation of character, I do not find that makes out a defamation of character case. She didn't say you're a crackhead. She said, he owes me money and he hasn't paid me, and lo and behold, look, that's what I'm finding too. All right, so 0 on your claim, and on her claim, $2,959.75.
Mr. Driscoll, let me ask you, what do you think about what the judge just decided?
Well, people that make a living suing companies and suing people know the right things to say to a judge. I'm sticking by the truth. She gave the money to my girlfriend as a gift, not a loan, and I'm willing to pay it back. I'm willing to work with it. She's the one that wanted to get all toxic and negative on me, and I went above and beyond for this lady out of love and out of trying to help her.
All right, let me talk to the plaintiff now. Ms. Martin, you filed the lawsuit. You're going to get the money back. Are you still going to be living next to him? He referred to the fact that you might be about to be evicted. Is that true?
No, not at all. But unfortunately, we will still be pocket neighbors.
So how are you going to deal with that? You're going to be running into him all the time.
No, sir. I've learned to avoid him very well.
All right. Well, congratulations. You are going to get the $2,954 that you were seeking, so congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Well, another case, Doug. Text messages are everything. Think about a text message in a dispute as part of a contract, that you actually are writing the deal as you text back and forth. And what you say and what the other person says could end up in court, and what is said could determine who wins and who loses.
My friend's dog bit a guest at a party. My friend had told all the guests her dog was in a separate room because he was not in a good mood and was told to be left alone. The victim went into the room to see the dog and ignored my friend's wishes and warning. Is my friend liable to help pay the victim's medical bills?
Okay. The first question is, are you in a state with strict liability? Because many states just say, hey, your dog bites someone, you're responsible for paying the damages, and that's that.
Take out your checkbook.
And even those still have an exception if you're poking and irritating the dog and tormenting the dog, then you get what you deserve.
Sure.
But the question is, are you in a state that's makes the owner automatically liable, strict liability?
Right.
If you're not, then I think it becomes a little muddier.
You have a regular negligence claim, wouldn't you?
I mean,
you have an invitee to your house, and
if someone warned you, don't go in there, that's the dog's space, and don't go in there, and then you go in there, and then, it kind of seems to me like an assumption of the risk thing, unless it's a strict liability.
Okay, and wholly apart from all that, you've got what the law would require, and then you've got what's the right thing to do?
Oh, no, if it were,
you'd pay for it, right?
Yeah, I would pay for it. If my dog bit somebody, I would just pay for it.
Yeah, if you want people to keep coming over to your house.
If you want people to come to your dinner parties. But that's completely different from what you're legally responsible for.